From Cardinal Television Studio, I'm Kelsey Braun with your Fisher News Brief. Fisk University closed its campus Monday due to a bomb threat. It's the latest of several historically black colleges and universities to be targeted this month. Reporter Daniel Jackson has the latest.
Students and staff at Fisk University sheltered in place after a bomb threat was made to the campus around 9 a.m. Monday morning.
They did a thorough sweep of all the major buildings. So far, we've been notified that they've located nothing.
Metro Police were called out to investigate the potential threat after the university received information there could be a bomb or an explosive on the campus. University officials closed the campus in light of recent events. In the last month, more than a dozen HBCUs have received bomb threats.
I think once you start hearing word of credible threats like that elsewhere, you have to be extremely mindful. And Fisk has always been a sort of haven of safety, and we obviously are a small university where we can rely upon a sense of family atmosphere where everybody looks out for one another.
Luckily, the threat wasn't credible, but the situation was a little concerning for junior Tafari Ples, who was on campus at the time.
Automatically, our dean ran in and was like, nobody can leave and nobody can come in, and everybody was just confused. They didn't really know what was going on.
The FBI has identified 6 juveniles connected to the HBCU threats. They say the teens are tech savvy, and authorities say the threats appear to be racially motivated.
And so that immediately made me think about, all the bomb threats that have been going around the country at different HBCUs. So I was like, hey, maybe this is, the same thing.
Fisk University Vice President says campus safety is paramount. That's why they've beefed up security in anticipation of a potential threat.
Campus safety does do a pretty good job of, alerting everybody and keeping people safe. But when things happen like this, you can never be too sure and never know what's going on.
A man in Louisiana who's been working for 44 years to have his attempted aggravated rape conviction overturned has been released from prison. Vincent Simmons' attorneys say his conviction had been vacated and the charges dismissed. The judge ordered a new trial because the evidence that would have benefited Simmons had not been turned over to the original defense team. That evidence included medical records indicating that there were no signs of any assault. The dismissal of the charges was done with consent of the 2 alleged victims, twin sisters Sharon and Karen Sanders. The local DA said he believed there was sufficient evidence to find Simmons guilty, but he didn't want the alleged victims to, quote, undergo the trauma of another trial. He added that he will not appeal the judge's decision and requested that further prosecution of Simmons not move forward. Investigators got a breakthrough in a missing child case that's been open for 2 years Monday when they found the girl hidden under a staircase. Paisley Schultes was reported missing in 2019 when she was just 4 years old. Police executing a search warrant found her Monday in a secret room that was so hidden beneath the staircase they had to remove planks to get access. The dark and wet enclosure is a space that led to the home's basement. Police say the child's biological mother, Kimberly Cooper, was found in the space. The New York home is about 150 miles away from where Schultes was last seen. The police had searched it before, but were never given full access. Cooper, the child's biological father, and grandfather are all now facing charges. Schultes has been returned to her legal guardian and reunited with her older sister. A skier in Colorado is okay after getting caught in an avalanche and hurled over a cliff. Incredibly, the man's mother, who was also swept away in the avalanche, was able to find him and treat him.
Helicopters and dog rescue crews rushed to the scene, but they didn't end up using them.
By the time we were all here responding, they were already on their way down.
The 2 were going back up to grab some gear they left the day before when the sun cut across a ridge and started that slide.
He was actually tumbling, and he was in a terrain trap. The avalanche carried him over a cliff. So he is very, very lucky that he has nothing but very minor injuries.
They estimated he was thrown 200 to 300 feet in that slide and down a 50-foot cliff at the least. His mother found him.
It took her about 10 minutes to get to him. He was buried about waist deep, and she dug him out. And she's a physical therapist, so she tended to his injuries.
We certainly had a good outcome. The person involved is pretty shook up. It's definitely a traumatic experience, especially this is a pretty experienced person in the mountains. But they came away with really what looks like minor injuries, and that is a good outcome.
An outcome that could have been so much worse had luck not played a significant role.
An iconic sports car went back to the future, then was discontinued. Now it's ready to rev up some new business. The DeLorean Motor Company announced its official return on social media this week with a new teaser for its DeLorean Reimagined. The company says the new electric vehicle is set to premiere this year. From the teaser video the company posted, it appears the new DeLorean will keep its signature gull-wing doors. The DeLorean was famously used in the Back to the Future film trilogy, but was a short-lived car. Production only lasted between 1981 and 1983. That means it was no longer being made when the first Back to the Future movie hit theaters in 1985. An endangered species newborn not only shares its looks with a famous Harry Potter character, it now shares its name too. Jeremy Roth has today's Take a Look at This.
The first ever aardvark born at England's Chester Zoo is benefiting from a bit of British storybook star power. The newborn calf has been named Dobby for its uncanny resemblance to the beloved Harry Potter character.
Dobby is free.
And while this Dobby won't exactly be free, standard park entrance fees will apply, the Chester Zoo did drop some free first looks on social media of Dobby being hand-reared by zookeepers, enjoying a bottle of warm milk every few hours. Aardvarks are an endangered species with only about 109 in zoos worldwide. Officials at the Chester Zoo say they are overjoyed about Dobby, calling the birth a momentous landmark. Art is imitating life in the sports world as the brazen theft of a baseball mascot's costume has fans and Goofy team characters worldwide rallying support for their bobble-headed brethren. It started when the costume of Oregon minor league mascot Dylan T. Pickles was pilfered by a porch pirate in Portland. Team officials were baffled.
We're still actively investigating everything that comes in. It's a little salty.
Really?
That's all I'm saying.
While the team deals with this pickle, even offering $1,000 worth of the savory snacks as a reward, mascots from teams in Texas, California, even Canada have taken to social media with the hashtag #FindDylan to show support for solving this mascot mystery that fans of the Portland Pickles think is a pretty big deal. For Take a Look at This, I'm Jeremy Roth.
That's it for today's news. For Fisher News Brief, I'm Kelsey Braun.